Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today is the weekly Star Wars recap for April 14th, 2025, which this week we got some publishing news, but also some video game news to talk about. But before I get into that, gonna jump into the new releases, starting off with everything that came out the last 2 weeks. There was The High Republic Into the Light, the final young adult novel for The High Republic, and then a new manga, The High Republic, The Edge of Balance Premonition, which I didn't read either of those. Some new comics, Jedi Knights Issue 2, and Hyperspace Stories, The Bad Batch Ghost Agents Issue 2, which I also haven't gotten around to reading those either. But coming out this week is Legacy of Vader Issue 3, which will come out April 16th, 2025. But let's jump into the news. First, I honestly completely forgot about this until right now. There was a new animated series announced titled Tales from the Underworld, which will be like the Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire anthology series, which came out the last couple years. Which this one will once again be 6 episodes, 3 following Cad Bane, and another 3 following Asajj Ventress. And all 6 will release on May 4th, 2025, so only in a month, which it just was randomly announced with a trailer, which I should have a breakdown of that out. I kind of just completely forgot about it until right now, so that'll probably be out tomorrow, so you check that out then, where I'll talk about it a little more in depth, but there's some other stuff to get to. Like I mentioned earlier, some publishing announcements as they revealed a couple before Star Wars Celebration, which the main one being a new adult novel titled Master of Evil, which I did talk about this last episode because it was accidentally revealed, and so I assume that's why they're just revealing it now. But the novel will be written by Adam Christopher, who a couple years ago wrote the Shadows of the Sith adult novel, but this one will follow Vader after Revenge of the Sith, which they also revealed the cover, which is cool, which it said it was from artist Simon Gennard, but there was a description for the novel, which says, after Revenge of the Sith, a newly forged Darth Vader hunts for the secrets of life and death under the watchful eye of Emperor Palpatine. In the wake of Emperor Palpatine's rise to power, the true nature of his most sinister enforcer remains a mystery. Darth Vader is a dominant yet elusive figure, the shadow cast by a malignant imperial regime, unknowable to even its top officials. But even as his humanity gives way to myth, Vader remains haunted by the promises of the dark side, seeking the ultimate power that his master has hinted at but withheld, the power to conquer death itself. On the volcanic world of Mustafar, Vader undertakes a dark ritual, bleeding a kyber crystal to forge his lightsaber. This act unleashes a power far greater than he anticipated, giving him a glimpse into the limitless potential of the Force. Vader is determined to follow this vision, even if it means defying his master's orders. Yet, he finds the Emperor suspiciously supportive of his mission, even sending Vader to the Disso system to investigate rumors of a Force-wielding shaman able to raise the dead. At his side are a cadre of the Emperor's scarlet-robed royal guard, led by Colonel Halid Goth, a decorated soldier with a very personal interest in Vader's mission. Even as the Emperor's true motivations reveal themselves, Vader falls deeper into obsession. His journey takes him far across the galaxy, chasing rumors and phantoms. But no matter how far he travels, he cannot escape the shadows within his own soul. Haunted by the echoes of his past, Vader circles the true resolution to his quest. Only once all weakness is purged can he become a master of evil. So yeah, sounds like it'll kind of follow up the Darth Vader Marvel comic series by Charles Soule, which was a great comic series. I really love that one. And so, excited to kind of see where this one will go. Obviously, we've had a lot of Vader in the Marvel comics. Haven't really had a lot of him as the main character in a adult novel recently, so be interesting to see where they go with him in a adult novel, but they did also reveal a few other mainly reference books and whatnot. You got the cover for the Art of the Acolyte book and pages from the Acolyte visual guide, which will both release later this year, and a couple other things like that were announced. But I'd assume there'll be more announcements on the publishing side actually at Star Wars Celebration later this week, which I'll obviously be covering and have a lot of videos out, so stay tuned for that. But speaking of announcements at Star Wars Celebration, they did also reveal the title for Bit Reactor and Respawn's new turn-based tactics video game, which will be titled Star Wars Zero Company, which alongside that they revealed some artwork which shows some of the characters, which there's like a soldier mercenary looking guy who's holding a hologram of a B-1 battle droid. There's also a clone trooper, a Mandalorian, a Jedi, an astromech droid, and then some other guy in like this tank-like outfit. I'm not really sure what they are. But on StarWars.com, it said, recruit an unconventional team of operatives and deploy them on missions unlike any other in the galaxy far, far away. Which, that's all it really says about the game. Right now, obviously they did say more info will be revealed at Star Wars Celebration. So I am very excited for the game. I love turn-based tactic games. Definitely ones like XCOM, as I don't know what style it will be. If it will be something like XCOM or something completely different in the turn-based genre, turn-based tactics genre. I would say I'd assume it will probably be an XCOM-like game. But going off of the artwork, I'm thinking it might be set during the Clone Wars. Obviously, there's a clone trooper, a Jedi, a hologram of the B-1 battle droid, so leads me to believe that will be the case. Obviously, I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like. But like I said, we'll obviously learn more later this week, which I'll obviously talk about it then. But finally, last episode, I talked about how Revenge of the Sith will be returning to theaters for its 20th anniversary, which I think now tickets are on sale for that, so there is that. But because it's the 20th anniversary of the film, the Novelization will also be celebrating its 20th anniversary, and so they announced a new hardcover Deluxe edition, which will have like the sprayed edges, which are red and has a quote on it, on the pages. It will have a special dust jacket and all that, but it will obviously have the novelization from author Matthew Stover, but it will also have over 150 annotations from Stover included in it, and it will release on October 14th, 2025. Only thing is, it is pretty costly at $60. Obviously, like I said, it'll have all the special stuff in it, and I'd assume the build quality will be a bit better than a regular hardcover, but I'd probably just wait for it to go on sale. But it is still cool. I do wonder if they'll do more novels like this, like the other novelizations. Obviously, most of the other novelizations don't have the same reception as the Revenge of the Sith one does, but it'll make them all go together. Obviously, there's other stuff like the original Thrawn trilogy and whatever other Star Wars novel they could do in this format, but who knows? Maybe this will just be a one-off and only be done here. But like I said, who knows? Obviously, it is costly at $60, but most of the time, these deluxe edition hardcovers, they cost way more. But usually, you can just wait for them to go on sale and whatnot, and they'll be a lot cheaper. But yeah. Anyways, that's all there is to talk about this week. Like I said, there was that Tales from the Underworld. I'll have a breakdown of the trailer out and talking about it a little more in depth. I honest to God completely forgot about it until I started recording this, and I haven't even got the trailer breakdown done yet. I know I started working on that, but I'll get that done tomorrow, or at least sometime before Star Wars Celebration, because, I obviously have a lot to do this weekend covering all the news and whatnot, so you can check all that out later this week, and then obviously next week, Andor Season 2 starts up also, so there's all that. But anyways, I've been Star Wars Review. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon. The monster will come for us all.
Revolution is not for the saying. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
There's a future here for those who dare.